Hi folks, Mr. Lynch here. I'm here to talk to you today about the general features of Adobe Spark, as well as how to screen record with Castify and Loom, and some features of wevideo. So the first thing you want to do is to just give a quick Google of Adobe Spark. I'll just do this quickly for you now. I've hit Adobe Spark. And then it'll pop up with the first link. And all you need to do is log in with your Glow username at cl.glow.scot, because that will give you a free sort of version of the account. It's like a teacher's account as well. But you get access to a lot of different features with just the basic account. So Adobe Spark, in a nutshell, it's a collaborative space, and it's all about essentially almost raising the kind of profile or the look of some things, because you can make graphics, you can make quick videos, which is the main things I really use it for myself, and I'll go into a few of the features just now. So if you just have a look here, quite a basic setup, but then if you see the big plus, that's telling us that you're going to want to add something new. And then you've got a number of different things here. So a poster, Instagram post, Facebook post, collages, a web page. But the main thing I use it for is making a video. So if I select that one just now, and it's quite intuitive. It gives you like prompts as well along the way. Tell us about the idea, title, change it later. I'll just say info for staff. And then that will generate the name of it. And then it almost gives you like a template of how you want it to look. So there's a number of different ones here. Let's go for teacher lesson. Let's have a look at what this looks like. So then you're taken to a home screen, and from there, to be honest, it's quite self-explanatory, because it's got all the different templates for you, and it's a case of just clicking and then editing. So, okay, I am ready. So here it is here. If I give away X out. So your first thing here is you've got a big plus sign again. For Adobe Spark, it's again intuitive. You're looking for that plus sign so you can add anything. So let's say we're going to add some text here, and I'm just going to say Aloha staff info video. Okay, and then got the option on the right here of a layout. So then that lets us see how we're going to make it set up. So that's like your full screen option, but then you might want to split it. Okay, because Aloha staff video. And again, you look for this plus. So one thing to keep in mind is when you're looking for that plus sign, and you hit photo, for example, it's got this option here to connect to Google Drive, but at the moment, the Adobe and our package of Google Classroom doesn't really work in sync just now. Hopefully that's going to be rectified in the upcoming weeks. But there is an option to search for free photos. So this is quite good for people, as it teaches them that essentially all the photos that are on here aren't protected by copyright, so they're not going to get any copyright infringement. So if we just do a quick search for a school, and then there'll be all these things come up that we could maybe use. So if we use this one here, it would then generate into here, and you can decide on the weighting of each side whether you want to have the picture slightly bigger, and you can drag it across, or you can zoom in and out if you hit the edit sign here as well. So it's entirely up to you how you want to have your setup. At the top right here, you've got your theme. So at the moment, I've got this title theme. I could change the color of it if I really wish, and then it'll automatically change. And then I could also change it to any kind of way I want. Maybe I want to go for this sage looking one. And again, it will automatically update in the background. And one of the really unique features which I really like about it is quite simple. So if you hold this button here, this is where you could start to do your recording. So if I press this button and I say, this is the Aloha Academy staff video, and I hit the stop. So you might not be able to pick up my voice there, but that's just because I'm using my microphone to screen record and make a video at the same time. But this is your recording button, so all you need to do is press and hold it, and then speak over There is a workaround for your photos and your video side of things, is that you can search the web and download a picture. You could do it that way. So again, what you would just do is you would just click upload photo. It takes a wee bit to load, and then you can take a look at any kind of picture. So there's the Allo Academy badge there. So I can click open, and then that's just going to automatically filter in. So this can be used for like quick instructional videos. One thing I'll mention is that they encourage you to keep your slides to 30 seconds of talking, but you can go over that 30 seconds if you want. Likewise, if you are going on to the next slide and saying you're uploading a video, one thing you want to keep in mind of is if you try to upload anything that's longer than, say, well, I think it's a minute actually. No, it's 30 seconds. Anything longer than 30 seconds. So you're uploading a 2-minute video, for example, it'll ask you to trim it into 30-second chunks. So you'll have like 4 slides essentially committed to that video. But because the way that you've cut it up, it'll seamlessly transition throughout the video. So we've gone through a number of different things of the features of this, a record button, our different layouts, our themes, the music as well. But one thing, if you imagine it kind of like a PowerPoint that's playing automatically almost, is you've got your time. So you can actually input as much as you want in terms of the seconds. So if you're here and you crank it all the way up, you got your 30 seconds per slide. So it's entirely up to you how you want this to be seen. So let's say we make this 3 seconds a slide, and then we'll put the school values of respect. And then we'll just add another one here, ambition. And then we'll chuck in resilience almost. And you don't need to animate this yourself because it will automatically do it for you. And then it automatically transfers it into the layout that we've selected. So how does this look? How can we preview it? So we've got our big play button here. This would open a play video. And if you're happy with it, you would hit the publish button, or the share button, which I'll go over in a second. If you're not, you could change bits of the music. But as a whole, that's kind of the whole point of Adobe Spark. It's a quick, easy way of putting some sort of like info video or some sort of storytelling factor put together. You can use this for pupils as well, where we can get pupils collaborating on similar projects, which I'll show you in a second. So if we go to the share button here, you've got a number of options. You've got the publish, you've got the invite. You can invite someone to have a look at it and edit it also. But when you hit the publish, info for staff, you can create a link. So once you've created your link, you've also got the option to download, and then you can upload it to Google Classroom, or you can upload it to your Google Drive, just whatever you prefer. So that's pretty much the most of Adobe Spark Video. It can also be used for other things. If we go home and we look at the different options, so you've got the different projects here. You can, if you're going to create a new one, like a flyer, a story, Instagram post, glorified ways of saying making a poster. There's actually really cool things you can make in terms of the graphics. So an example here is something I'm kind of working on just now. Allo Academy Remote Learning Tips. This hasn't been released yet. I'm just working on it in the background, trying to make it look a bit nicer. So like you can put certain ways about the layouts, and again, similar to with the video side of things, you've got all your different bits around here that you can play with in here. And then also another thing you can do if you wanted to is that there's also you can make wee banners for like your Google Classroom tiles at the front. So this is one I've made for my National 5s. quite a basic one, but then I've been able to get my Bitmoji, but then I've been able to use like the lovely text and wrapping it around that way as well. So you can make lots of different graphics, and it's entirely up to you. So I encourage you to have a play with Adobe Spark. It can be used for multiple different ways. If you're going to make information videos for pupils, maybe you're going to make information videos for your department. Possibly you want to get people collaborating and working on maybe a poster together or some sort of infographic together. So there's lots of different things that it could be used for during our learning and teaching. So another thing that people are quite interested in is screen recording, quite rightly so. So there's two kind of giants that I use, which are Screencastify and Loom, which are both Chrome extensions or Chrome add-ons. So all you need to do is to have a quick Google of like Screencastify add-on, and then instead of remove from Chrome, it would say add to Chrome. Likewise for Loom, it'd be there. These are limited in the sense that both of them, for the free version, only allow you to record up to 5 minutes, which I think is enough, because I only really use them for quick instructional videos now for pupils. So if I give you an example of how they work. So once you've got your add-ons here, this is where your wee puzzle piece is, then you've got the option to like pin all these different ones to it. So for the purpose of this one, I've just pinned my Screencastify and my Loom. So let's start with Screencastify. It's just as simple as clicking on it here and then hitting record, and then clicking here to share your whole screen, and then you got your countdown, and then you've got your various different things you can go through. There's a few tools here. There's a slight drawing tool that you can use as well. If maybe you're wanting to highlight things straight away, again, entirely up to you, and then you can rub it out as you see fit. Once you feel like you've finished your recording, it's as simple as going up to the top right of where you started, and then clicking, and then stopping the recording. What I like about Screencastify is that it'll automatically take you to where it's being saved on the cloud, but it's also going to transfer it over to your Google Drive. So if we bounce back over to Glow, go into my Google Drive, then that's the video we just made there. Okay, so that's more or less Screencastify. There's some other features as well. You can publish it to YouTube, you can embed, you can send an email, and then you can download it also. Loom works in exact the same way. I have a slight preference towards Loom for a number of reasons. So it works more or less the same way. So if you click again on the Loom icon, and then you'll see at the bottom here, my face might appear, but what I quite like to do is have it as screen only, and then because I've set my Bitmoji as my account profile picture, then it looks like my Bitmoji speaking, which I think's hilarious. So you hit start recording. Again, entire screen up to you. And then that's it recording. So you've got your 5 minute limit here. You've got the option to hide this menu if you wish, or you can bring it back out. So a disadvantage to maybe using Loom is that you don't have those drawing tools readily to hand. However, I think the next phase is actually quicker and a little bit easier to use perhaps in Screencastify. So if I hit the tick button here to say that I've finished my recording, again, it automatically takes me to where this is saved. And it's got this bit here. So then all I need to do is, I've got my different editing tools. I can copy a link to the video. And then what I would normally do is, if it was, for instance, something in Google Classroom, I would just go into my Google Classrooms, go into the individual child's work, and then post what's expected. So let's just say we want to, where's our test kitchen, for example? This is something that we use quite a lot. Say Carla wasn't too sure on anything. I would then just say, with my screen recording, copy and paste the link. And then all that's going to do is take that person directly to that video on Loom to see where it's going to go and then hit play. So they both work in much the same fashion. It's just entirely what your preference is. Again, but it is only limited to 5 minutes. If we go back to Screencastify and you go to video editor, there's the option where you can maybe cut some of your videos, trying to make them shorter, entirely up to you. So again, it's just a matter of having a play with all these different things and seeing what you think is better. Likewise for the Loom, you've got your video editing just there and it's good to go. So they run pretty much the same as each other. Each have got their own advantage in terms of their sharing settings. But again, I just recommend having a play and deciding which one you think is most appropriate or maybe more useful to yourself. I think Loom's a bit more efficient, that's me personally, but then the Screencastify tools of the drawing whilst you're talking could be really advantageous. I can imagine that in science, maybe maths as well. Those drawing tools could really come in handy. But again, entirely up to you. A final point to really think about as well is that what I'm using to record this video is wevideo. And I've actually invested some money into this. So this is a video editing software which is available online. So I've put some of my own money towards it. This has given me unlimited recording, screen recording. So I use this in tandem with both Loom and Screencastify, depending on the length of the video. So if the video is going to be longer than 5 minutes per se, I would be using wevideo. There's also other workarounds as well for when you're screen recording, where you could then possibly set up your own Google Meet and then just record your screen from the Google Meet when you share their screen, because then you can record the meeting. So there's workarounds as well if you're wanting to record the full 50 minutes in one, or if you're wanting to do it in little chunks, you can then maybe think about using wevideo. There is a free version of wevideo. The only thing that happens when you use it is that, so this is like your display window, there's a watermark that appears in the top right that just says wevideo. It's not a big barrier, but for me, I thought, well, if I'm going to be using it anyway, I may as well put some of my own money towards it. So I just decided to do it. Likewise, there's options for Screencastify and Loom. Do I think it's worth it? Probably not, especially since we've got the workarounds where you can record from PowerPoint, you can record from your Google Meets also. So again, the way I tend to use it myself is that if I'm using Loom or Castify, if it's just less than 5 minutes, I'll use them. But if it's for more of a bigger video, I'd probably use this. And likewise, if it was going to be a quick instructional video, I would just use Adobe Spark. So again, entirely up to you and how comfortable and confident you start to feel as you progress with your digital skills. And that, folks, brings us to the end of our digital CLPL. We've covered things on Adobe Spark, Screencastify, Loom, and touched on a little bit of wevideo. If you've got any questions or queries, don't hesitate to get in contact. Likewise, I'm a firm believer that by working together and becoming more collaborative, we can improve the learning experience of the young people in our care. So if you're experiencing any successes with your digital learning journey, please get in contact with any member of the digital team and we can share this with the whole school.